in the wild card race in August.
I have to go along with that. I didn't figure that. I kind of thought the Diamondbacks would have a good year. And I was thinking, as Pete Harnish goes down with a home run type swing, that the Reds, when the deals that Jim Bowden made over the winter, I thought they had a chance. I didn't think they were going to do it the way they're doing it without Denny Nagel being here all year, with Steve Avery going down with an arm problem and Jason Gray going out with an arm problem. But they have played well, so well as a team, and Jack McKeon deserves a lot of credit too, he and his coaching staff. But I agree with you. Oakland is a team that has surprised me tremendously. And they, you know, for them to go out and make the moves that they did just before the trading deadline, they believe that they can win it too.
Well, first they traded away Kenny Rogers.
Yes.
Then they acquired both Kevin Appier and Omar Olivares. Oakland with the best home record in baseball, 41-19. And not only are they one game out in the wild card race, but coming into play today, only 6.5 behind the Texas Rangers in the AL West. So that race is not over by a long shot. Mike Cameron 0 for 2. Sacrificed Harnish over to third his last time up.
Well, I'll tell you what, the only thing that really, if you're an Oakland A's fan, that really has to hurt is that Tony Phillips broke his leg. Now, Tony Phillips is a catalyst. He's been on a lot of winning clubs, and he makes things happen. He is just an aggressive guy in the clubhouse, in the dugout, on the field, and they're going to miss him.
And they acquired Rich Becker yesterday to replace Tony Phillips.
Yes. It might be a little hard to replace Tony, but you see Oakland, as you mentioned, 6.5 games. That's quite a ways to go, especially with that powerhouse Texas ball club. But who expected them to be where they are? 10 games over.
Called strike. 2-2 on Cameron. How about what the Mets have done, leading all of baseball with 74 victories?
I thought they were going to be good. I didn't know how good their starting pitching would be, but their defense is so spectacular, and now they have excellent offense to go with it. Ricky Henderson having the year he is, Roger Cedeno, Robin Ventura.
In the air to left. Martin moving over to his right on the edge of the warning track, makes the catch, and Benson has retired 7 consecutive Reds. Still no score as we head to the 8th. There were 18 runs scored last night in the Pirates' 12-6 win. Warren Morris leading off in the Pittsburgh 8th against Pete Harnish, who's allowed only 1 hit and 1 walk. A leadoff single by Mike Benjamin in the 7th broke up Harnish's no-hit bid. He has 2 shutouts this year. And there's a drive, curving foul into the upper deck in right field.
You wonder now, Pete Harnish has acknowledged that he has a tender shoulder, and he's at 97 pitches. So that all of a sudden, well, that swing and that ball going up high in the right field foul out of the ballpark, the Cincinnati bullpen gets up in a hurry.
Scott Williamson is up and throwing. 2-2 on Morris. As soon as that ball landed in the upper deck, Williamson and Reyes, Dennis Reyes, both up in the Reds' pen. Sliced foul back behind the Pirates dugout.
You know, it just showed something. The pitch that Warren Morris did hit a long way foul was a fastball up and in. He turned on it. He gets the same location on a breaking ball, and Morris gets jammed on it. That's just the difference of the spin on the ball and the way that the hitters react.
Harnish just misses. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Did you see Mark Hirschbeck, the umpire, flinch too? I'll tell you this, I give him a lot of credit here. You could have rung him up here. It's close enough, but I think it just missed. But watch Mark Hirschbeck, the umpire, flinch. Oh.
And he gets him on the next pitch. Strikeout number 10 for Harnish. His career best is 12.
Here's the pitch. He just missed away. He comes back on the outside part of the plate with a 2-seamer that he ran away from him. Just sneaky enough with action that the hitters can't catch up to it. Ten
strikeouts, a season high for Harnish. Adrian Brown falls behind 0-1. Brown 0 for 2 tonight. Harnish has tied the Reds' season high 10 strikeouts. Brett Tomko did it last month against the St. Louis Cardinals.
You know, Kenny, it's amazing to watch. That was an 86-mile-an-hour fastball he just threw. That's not very hard for a right-hander at the major league level. And he's been throwing them in the middle of the plate up, and they're missing him. It's because he changes speed so well. And we'll say again, because of his delivery. There's Don Guller's pitching coach, has done tremendous jobs here with reconstruction jobs with guys. But Pete just, they don't catch up to him. He fools them. He'll throw an off-speed pitch. He'll throw a curveball. He'll throw a little cutter. He'll throw a changeup down. But most of the time, he's throwing this fastball up in the strike zone, 86 miles an hour, and they're missing it.
He said he fools him. He also fooled him in college when he was a stand-in in police lineups. His friend's father, a sergeant in the police department in New York. And Harnish got paid as a stand-in in various police lineups.
You got to be tough to do that, and he is tough coming out of Fordham University. He just almost got the outside corner again. Mark Hirschbeck very consistent behind the plate. That's all you ask of an umpire, and he's not going to just jump in here because the crowd's pulling for him.
The 2-2. And third base umpire Wally Bell says strike 3. 11th strikeout for Harnish. This week on Fox Saturday Baseball, we'll take you down to the field and put you in the action. Sounds of the game as Mark McGwire and the Cardinals clash with Mike Pete. 2 outs in the Pirates' 8th as Keith Osick fouls one back this way, just out of the reach of my catching partner, Jeff Torborg. Only 2 base runners for the Pirates tonight as Osick fouls another one back. Yet we are still scoreless. Reds no runs on 5 hits, and they've stranded 7. Harnish over the 100 pitch mark now. He was pulled in his last start Saturday against the Phillies. He went 7 innings through exactly 100 pitches, but due to the shoulder problems, pulled after he hit 100. He will probably need surgery after the season. And the 1-2 is in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Osick.
Now you see right now he's shaking his head. He really wants to get this last out. See him just kind of reacting. Sometimes you can watch body language, see somebody getting a little tired, but he has just been outstanding this evening.
2-2 on Osick. Should Osick strike out, Harnish would match his career best with 12 strikeouts. He's done it 5 times. And the last time was against the Pirates last May at 3 Rivers. 2-2 on Osick. 2 outs in the Pirate 8th.
About to say I thought they would go with a breaking ball because Osick just hit a line drive shot down the right field line that was only about 10 feet foul, and if that hit that foul pole, it would have broken Pete's heart. But they went with breaking stuff, so now it's 3-2. We'll see what Pete decides what he wants to do here. He might go with another breaking ball.
Ball 4, so Osick heads down to first. Second walk, third base runner allowed by Harnish.
Here's where you get paid well to be a manager in the National League. What do you do with a game on the line? You let your pitcher hit. First game I managed in the National League after being in the American League for many years as a manager with the Indians and the White Sox, went to the National League and had to make the decision. I said, oh, this is what they talk about here. Gene Lamont's going to let his pitcher hit.
And Benson swings at the first pitch. Benson likes hitting. In fact, he said, I just want to put the ball in play. I might last longer in the game and get more innings if I prove that I can hit. Interesting that Benson is hitting here with a scoreless tie and a runner on first because Mark Wilkins was up in the Pirates bullpen.
And he's up in pitch count too. And that'd be interesting if somehow something happened. You had a base runner at second, then it puts it as a manager. Do I then set up a pinch hitter to try to win this thing right here? I don't believe Osick will be running. that lead, but also with the pitcher hitting. Benson really seems to act and say the right things. He sounds like a guy that approaches his game in the right way. He's not caught up in all the peripheral stuff. He really focuses.
The 0-2, and Harnish ties his career high with strikeout number 12. He strikes out the side in the 8th. Standing ovation for Pete Harnish, who's allowed only one base hit. Strikeouts. He's allowed only one Pittsburgh hit as we move to the bottom of the 8th. And we want to welcome our viewers from the New England Sports Network who have been watching the Red Sox and the A's, where Oakland beat Pedro Martinez. And the Red Sox by the score of 6-2. So the A's pulled to within one game of Boston in the race for the American League wild card spot. Toronto 3 back. Kenny Albert, Jeff Torborg from Synergy Field in Cincinnati. No score. Pete Harnish had a no-hitter through 6 innings. He allowed a leadoff single to Mike Benjamin in the 7th, and that has been it. 2 walks, only 3 base runners for the Pirates. Reds have only 5 hits. They've stranded 7. As Chris Benson has done an outstanding job, the rookie out of Clemson University, looking for his 11th win of the season. And he has matched zeros in the runs column with Harnish. Dimitri Young, Sean Casey, Greg Vaughn for the Reds. Here in the bottom of the 8th, Benson batted for himself with 2 outs and a runner on the top of the inning, so he remains in to pitch the 8th. A bouncer fielded by Sprague, the off-balance throw, and Young is safe at first. Tough play for Sprague, and Young has his 3rd hit of the night, his 2nd infield hit.
Well, we talked about Dimitri Young, who is going to be pinch run for
by Michael Tucker.
Here's the chopper that he hits the other way. As you mentioned, the 2nd infield hit. Eddie Sprague really made a nice effort on this. Well, he's got no chance, though, to get Young. Young runs pretty well for a big guy. Remember, he hit that left-handed. Michael Tucker can run. He's a threat to steal a base. But you're in the middle of your order now. You've got your big guns coming up. Casey, Vaughn, and Larkin.
So the Reds have the leadoff man on for the 2nd time tonight. Harnish doubled leading off the 5th, but was stranded on 3rd. So Dimitri Young with 3 of Cincinnati's 6 hits tonight, as Casey, the Pittsburgh native, takes ball 1. Sean 0 for 2 with a walk. The average now down to 339, the lowest it's been all season. He was up as high as 374.
You know, even though he is your number 3 hitter, he's the kind of guy that you can hit and run with because he puts the ball in play. In other words, if you're trying to make something happen, hit and run normally gets an infielder out of position, leaves a hole somewhere in the infield. He can make it work.
Now 2 balls, no strikes. Michael Tucker, the pinch runner, the former Royal, the former Atlanta Brave, running for Dimitri Young. With nobody out, bottom of the 8th inning. No score from Cincinnati. 2-0 on Casey with Vaughn on deck as Benson wheels to first.
Well, there's an awful lot of talking going on. Dave Collins, outstanding base runner in his career, is the base running coach here. You see him, he's got a stopwatch in his left hand. Doing a lot of talking with Michael Tucker. A lot of times when you're in the dugout and you're the defensive team, you watch the first base runner for his body language, but also the first base coach to see if it looks like anything might be on if you decide you might want to pitch out.
Well, 2-0 to Casey, and he fouls it back. 2-1.
Now, this is the kind of situation, if you ever would hit and run. I'm not so sure you would with a guy like this anyway, but you can see Casey right up there, multi-hit games in the National League. He is 3rd. Pretty good company. I'm not so sure you take the bat out of his hand at all, but the fact that he can make some things happen by putting the ball in play, Jack McKeon might try to make something happen here, and this is a perfect count for it.
The 2-1. Call back to the screen. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Casey with nobody out. Bottom of the 8th inning. Chris Benson and Pete Harnish. Tremendous pitching battle tonight. Gene Lamont's Pirates looking to go over the 500 mark. Pittsburgh, as we check out Reds manager Jack McKeon, an amazing stat. Pirates have played 120 games. They've been exactly 530 different times this year. They have not been more than 5 games over or under the 500 mark. While the Reds battling for first place in the Central.
The Pirates, we were looking a minute ago at Gene Lamont. They're trying to make sure that they keep Tucker close, because a lot of managers, as I mentioned earlier, will not run or do much in the middle of the lineup, knowing they got the big hammers up in there in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th spot. But a guy like Casey, and you just put a pin at the plate who can put the ball in play, and Michael Tucker, who you just put in the pinch run, and you got a guy that you know can run. Now he's looking for signs from Ron Oster at 3rd base. Dave Collins alerted him. And now Tucker's looking at Collins and say, what'd he do? What'd he say?
Two and two on Casey. Tucker goes. He stumbled. And the throw down to second. They got him. Tucker about 5 steps down towards second. Stumbled, and he is thrown out by the catcher, Keith Osick.
Well, this was a nice throw by Osick. He had a good pitch to throw. It was on the inside part of the plate, so he didn't have to shift. He came right out, completely right over the middle of the plate. Now here's the throw, and the throw is right into the runner. Here's Osick again. See him catch the ball on the inside, so he doesn't have to shift way outside to clear the hitter, because he's pushed the hitter back with a pitch. So he comes straight to the plate and throws the ball to second base, and the throw is right on the money.
And now the payoff pitch to Casey. There's a drive, deep right field. Brown on the warning track, looks up, leaps, it's gone. Home run number 20 for Sean Casey. And the Reds had scored the game's first run with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. The Pittsburgh native, deep to right off Chris Benson. And the Reds have taken a 1-0 lead.
Does he have a passion and emotion in this game? This kid is great. I heard about him years ago when he was in the Indians organization. The Indian team physician, Dr. Bill Wilder, is a very good friend. He said this is one of the finest kids that he's ever had anything to deal with.
So on a 3-2 pitch, the first pitch after the pinch runner Tucker was thrown out, attempting to steal second, Sean Casey continues his magical season. And now Pete Harnish is in line for his 8th consecutive victory.
Well, there's the pitch. You can see it's right in his wheelhouse. It's down a little bit in on the inner half of the plate, right where he can lay the head of the bat on it. He took advantage of it and hit it out of the ballpark.
1-2 on Greg Vaughn.
This kid is so great. He's so down to earth. I've heard so many stories about him. What a wonderful kid and what a wonderful citizen he is. What he does for people who need it. But look how he's still all wound up. Well, look at this after he hits the home run. They love him. This team loves him.
He's earned the nickname the Mayor here in Cincinnati. As Vaughn goes down on strike. Strikeout number 8 for Benson. Earlier this year when the Reds played in Pittsburgh, Casey needed 70 tickets to accompany family and friends. He wound up going 0 for 12 in the series. He said never again. Although why am I not so sure that Casey would not do it again?
Yeah, I think he would. Some great stories about him. Human interest stories where he reached a child, an autistic child that nobody else could reach. Volunteered his time. I think that was while he was either in college or just coming out of college. And I heard also that he paid for a funeral for a family family member of someone who was here at the ballpark?
Somebody he met, a fan whose father had passed away. Casey said, why don't we set up an autograph show with all the proceeds going to pay for the funeral? And he had just met the son.
Special young man. I remember him watching him at the All-Star game. He had his home movies camera out. He was taping all the festivities. And the story was that he autographed his game shirt. He autographed the wrong shirt, so he had to play the game with an autograph on. That's not going to bother this kid. He is great. He's not caught up in being a big leaguer. He's just loving it. You know, there's a saying in baseball where some guys get to the big leagues and they get too full of themselves and they big league it on their teammates or on fans. That kid will never big league it on anybody.
Last year, just after he was acquired by the Reds, he took a ball to the eye during batting practice. He was out for quite some time. He came back with better vision than he had before he was hit in the eye. He used to wear contacts. Doesn't need them anymore.
That's a tough way to do it. That's a new type of treatment for poor vision.
2-2 on Larkin. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. Looking ahead to the Pirates in the 9th, it will be the top of the order. Al Martin, Mike Benjamin, and Brian Giles. Feast or famine for the Pirates. Last night, 12 runs, 13 hits. Tonight, no runs. 1 hit up the middle. Mike Benjamin leading off the 7th. Hitting instructor Lloyd McClendon looking on. The 2-2 from Benson. Poked foul down the right field line. College football coming your way on Fox Sports. The 2-2 from Benson, off speed pitch in the dirt. And a full count on Barry Larkin.
Well, as you look at Chris Benson, this kid has pitched some game. Boy, this is the first time I've seen him up close. I've read about him and followed his career. He's got a chance to be a big-time, long-time winner in this league. Really a poised kid.
Looks so calm and composed on the mound. 24 years of age. Line drive caught by Warren Morris. But the big blow with 1 out. Sean Casey, home run number 20 to provide the Reds with a 1-run lead as they head to the bullpen. Chris Benson on the left has allowed only a Sean Casey home run, the only blemish on his record. And a couple of changes in the field for the Reds. Michael Tucker remains in the game at right. He pitched right and was caught stealing just prior to the home run. Jeffrey Hammonds comes on in left field to replace Greg Vaughn, the former Oriole. And the new pitcher, and what a job Scott Williamson has done in his rookie season. A 23-year-old right-hander, the only rookie on the Reds opening day roster. Selected to the All-Star game. And the Reds bullpen leading the National League in wins and earned run average. And Williamson is number 1 among National League relievers with an earned run average of 1.76.
This kid can throw. I saw him in spring training the first time he was out there, and he was throwing somewhere between 95 and 98 miles an hour. And for the last out of the game, he threw a split finger. The bottom fell out of, and the hitter didn't stand a chance. He learned a split finger when he was at Tulane. He transferred from Tulane to Oklahoma State, but when he's at Tulane, Bruce Sutter, the great relief pitcher who threw the split finger, his son was the catcher at Tulane. Bruce taught this kid that split finger.
0-2 on Al Martin leading off the Pirates' 9th. 11 wins, 5 losses, 16 saves, 6 blown saves. So if you add it all up, 16 decisions and 22 save opportunities.
Oh boy!
In his rookie year. 1-2.
Now there's that real hard split finger. That's 86 miles an hour. You know how tough that is for a catcher, even to try to block it, not to mention catch it. but he's got a delivery where he really turns away from the hitter. In fact, he takes his left leg back over the rubber. A lot of guys, a lot of pitching coaches don't like their pitchers to do that, but he gets so much torque out of this. Watch how he turns almost back towards second base.
Another pitch in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Now, Eddie Taubens, he didn't even flinch. That ball hit him in the shoulder. That really hurts. Now, you teach catchers, don't let anybody know they hurt you. Well, watch what Scott Williamson has here. Here's his scouting report. Very hard, obviously. 95 to 99 mile-an-hour fastball. It's a 4-seamer. Throws a slurve type slider, real hard. Big break, but he throws a hard downer split finger. That's his out pitch.
The 2-2 in the air to left. Jeffrey Hammonds, 1 away. Coming up following the game on Fox Sports News. This is what has taken place in the sports world today. An update on the pennant races in the American and the National League. Steve Sachs will join you with the Fox Scope. And some more problems from young quarterback Ryan Leaf of the San Diego Chargers. That's all coming up after the game on Fox Sports News. And one of the things you will see, the 12 strikeout performance, tying Pete Harnish's career high, the 6th time he's done it. A 1-hitter so far thrown by the Reds. And Mike Benjamin, who is up at the plate right now, has the only hit, a single, leading off the 7th. And that is the 3rd Williamson pitch that has bounced a couple of feet in front of the catcher, Eddie Taubens.
Well, you wonder what a catcher goes out and says to the pitcher. Say, you're killing me now. You're banging me up here. When you want to throw that split, would you get it a little more elevated? Actually, you wouldn't say that. He'd say, don't worry about it. Keep throwing what you're doing. I'll stop anything you throw. You just want to build your pitcher's confidence. But I'll tell you what, he's hit him everywhere. Now, that was in the shin guard. One was in the shoulder.
1 ball, no strike count on Benjamin. 1-0 Reds. 1-1. The executive producers of Fox Sports Net are Arthur Smith and Bill Borson. The coordinating producer for Baseball Thursday is Larry Myers. And the head of field operations is Andrea Jenkins. Tonight's game produced by Tom Hewitt, directed by Roy Alfers. Here's the 1-1 to Benjamin, now 2-1. Thanks also to our technical producer, Michael Montavani, technical director, Brian Moss, along with Gary Nicholas, Mark Vodonik, Dave Sheward, Tom Thomas, and Audrey Whitley. Thanks, guys. 2-1 on Mike Benjamin. Ryan Giles waiting on deck with 1 away. Popped up. Coming over. The 3rd baseman Boone in front of the 2nd baseman Reese. 2 away. Our Georgia Pacific play of the game with 1 out. Bottom of the 8th inning. Sean Casey deep to right for the game's only run. Just over the outstretched glove of the right fielder Adrian Brown. And now the Reds 1 out away. Scott Williamson 1 out away from his 17th save, which would tie his bullpen mate Danny Graves.
Now, Eddie Taubens, the big catcher, just went out to talk to his young right-hander. This is the most dangerous guy right now in the Pirates lineup. Brian Giles, the left-hander. He's strong. He's got pop. He leads his club in home runs. So Taubens, he was talking to him here.
Remember, Sean Casey told us earlier he fears Giles, his former teammate, more than anyone else. Yep. On the Pirates roster, Giles with 82 runs batted in. He's 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Reds looking to win their 8th consecutive series. 2-0.
You just see top of the tap his left shoulder as if to say to young Scott Williamson, hey, keep your shoulder in. It looks like Williamson's in now. He says, see Toppins, he's in the dugout. He's probably seeing it from Don Gullett. Hey, okay, keep him together. Throw strikes here. Power this thing down and away. Throw strikes down and away. Try to stay away from the hitter's power.
Ball 3-0 on Giles with Dale Swaim, last night's hero, waiting on deck.
Now he just pitched his one hitter, but his stomach is really rolling now. But what happens here is Scott Williamson's been so wild, he didn't get the pitch that was on the corner of the plate. He's got both the catcher and the umpire jumping.
Ball 4, so Giles walks on 4 pitches. And the Pirates have their 4th base runner tonight. 3 walks, 1 hit.
Well, as you mentioned, last night's hero, Dale Swaim, hit a home run from each side of the plate. Got a runner at first base. Now, one of the things you concern yourself with now as a pitcher, don't worry about the runner at first base, because Brian Giles is not the guy you'd think would go steal a base. Poppensy speaking to Scott Williamson, but so is the veteran captain. Standing on the mound talking, Barry Larkin. That's the veteran in there telling him what to do. Many years ago when I was a young player and we had a young infield of Wes Parker and Jimmy Lefevre and John Kennedy and myself, Maury Wills would come to the mound just like that and tell everybody what to do, what the situation was. And I'm sure many years before that, the great Pee Wee Reese, who just was mourned yesterday on his passing, would do with the Dodgers. But you can see right now this very aggressive kind of overthrowing delivery of Scott Williamson has got Don Gullett thinking about it. You don't want to change somebody who has really been effective, but this delivery is tough to really command the ball out of.
Swaim 0 for 3. He struck out twice tonight. Takes strike 1.
Kenny, did you see that? He changed his delivery. He didn't bring his left leg back as far over the rubber. He brought it up under him and went straight for the plate instead of that swinging that leg action.
One and 2.
Okay, he's got it in gear now. Those last 2 pitches, he made an adjustment mechanically.
Well, we talked in the open about the rookie Williamson, along with Benson and Morris, Rookie of the Year candidates, and now Williamson will look to finish it off for Pete Harnish. Giles goes, and the pitch low and inside. And the Pirates now have the potential tying run in scoring position with a 2-2 count on Swaim. So a base hit right here could tie the score.
Yeah, it really could. I wasn't thinking at all that they wouldn't pay any attention to him, but we wanted to make sure that if you're a Cincinnati Red coach and fan, you say, okay, make sure you get the hitter, don't worry about the runner. Well, he has really adjusted his delivery. He's really come to the plate now the way he wants to.
The 2-2 from Williamson strikes him out. It bounces away from Poppensy. Here's the throw to first. It's over. And the Cincinnati Reds win the series 3-1, their 8th consecutive series victory as the fireworks explode over Synergy Field. A one-hitter for Pete Harnish and Scott Williamson. Harnish wins his 8th consecutive decision thanks to Sean Casey's 20th home run. And more importantly for the Reds, they pulled back into a first-place tie in the National League Central with the Houston Astros, who lost to Milwaukee today.
Well, we saw some outstanding talent. A young team in the Pirates with very good young pitching. We saw this blend of this Cincinnati Red team. You can see why they're chasing and now tied with Houston. But we just saw a beautifully pitched ball game tonight. That's the way this game's supposed to be played. This was fun to be a part of.
Harnish the winner, 13-6. Benson the loser, the hard luck loser. Now 10-10, save 17 for Williamson. A one-hitter for the Reds. Tune in Saturday for Fox Saturday Baseball. The Cardinals take on the Mets plus other regional action. Coverage begins 12:30 Eastern and Pacific with In the Zone. Check local listings. Then move over to FX. Baseball Saturday night. Red Sox
joining McGuire.